The spark before the collapse. They always say the worst kind of pain is the one you never saw coming. But before the hurt, before the betrayal, there was her. Andrea, I'm 27 now, and I honestly thought I'd found the kind of love that changes everything. Not the loud kind you see in movies. Something quieter, deeper, something that made me want things I never thought I'd want. Andrea and I weren't strangers. We'd known of each other for years. She was my best friend's girlfriend's best friend. We were always in each other's orbit. A few texts here and there, small talk at parties. But nothing ever came of it. Until one random night at the pub, something shifted. She sat next to me, we started talking, and suddenly it felt like the noise of the bar just faded out. She laughed at one of my dumb jokes. I remember that part clear as day. The way she leaned in just a little too close. That first night ended with a kiss that didn't feel casual. It felt inevitable. What happened next was kind of a blur. We fell into each other fast. The kind of fast that doesn't feel reckless, just right. We'd stay up all night talking in her car, legs curled up on the seat, music low. Sometimes we'd say nothing at all. Just exist next to each other. And I swear, those were the best silences I'd ever known. There were nights I'd watch her drive away and already miss her before she hit the end of the street. Like she took the air with her. It wasn't just infatuation, I've felt that before. This was different. It felt like gravity, like I was anchored to her in a way I didn't fully understand. And maybe that's what scared me the most. Because I've never wanted things like marriage or a house, or waking up next to the same person for the rest of my life. But suddenly, with her, I did. I wanted to make her coffee in the mornings. I wanted to argue about dumb stuff like what to name a dog we didn't even have yet. She made everything feel possible. I remember the night she told me she loved me. It wasn't some dramatic confession. We were playing charades in a crowded bar with some friends. She acted out a heart, pointed at me, and mouthed it. I laughed. Thought it was part of the game, but then I saw her eyes. She meant it, and something in me just cracked wide open. I was happy. Genuinely, terrifyingly happy. The kind of happy that makes you forget the world can be cruel. The kind that makes you think maybe, just maybe, this time, you won't get hurt. But here's the thing no one tells you about those moments. The ones where everything feels perfect. They never last. And sometimes, when the fall comes, it doesn't just knock the wind out of you. It takes the ground with it. It started small. I wish I could point to one big moment and say, that's when I knew something was wrong. But real life doesn't work like that. Things don't snap, they slip. It was just a text. From my best friend, Josh. Hey man. Mind if I ask Andrea something? Just need a female perspective. I didn't think twice. We all hung out, she got along with everyone, and Josh had always been like a brother to me. So I just said, yeah, go for it. But then, she started acting off. At first it was subtle. A shift in how she spoke to me. Like her mind was somewhere else. I'd ask how her day was, and her answer would be shorter. Distracted, like she was physically present but emotionally dialed in to something I couldn't see. Then there were her laughs. You know how you memorize someone's laugh without even meaning to? I used to hear her laugh at my jokes and feel 10 feet tall. But now, she'd be on her phone when I wasn't looking, giggling at something. When I asked, she'd just say it was the group chat. Friends from work, random stuff. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But something about the way she'd tilt her screen just slightly when I got close, it made my stomach twist. And I started to notice more. She started dressing differently, not drastically, just a little more attention to detail. Her phone, which she used to leave face up on the couch, was now always screened down or tucked into her bag. I started waking up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, telling myself I was being crazy. Paranoid. That word stuck. She said it during one of our talks, or maybe it was an argument, I don't even remember anymore. You're being paranoid. I laughed it off, but inside, it stuck like a splinter. Because once that seed is planted, that maybe you're just insecure, that maybe you're imagining things, you start to gaslight yourself. I found myself apologizing for things I hadn't done, for asking simple questions, for noticing something felt different. She hadn't pulled away completely. We still kissed, still went out, still had those moments that felt like before. But now, I couldn't tell if they were real, or if I was just clinging to what I wanted them to be. And I hated how I started acting. I hated how I started checking her phone when she left the room, even though I told myself I wouldn't. I hated how I memorized the sound of her notifications just so I could guess who it was. I wasn't that guy, but love makes you blind. Fear makes you desperate, and something in me was afraid, not just of losing her, but of finding out that maybe I already had. It was a Friday. I still remember what I was wearing. Still remember the song that played on the radio as I drove, something upbeat, something that felt cruel in hindsight. Josh, my best friend, had texted me earlier that week. Let's hang out, just like old times. Beers and games. It sounded perfect. I hadn't seen him much lately, and honestly, I needed it. Things with Andrea felt off, and I thought maybe some time with my oldest friend could help me clear my head. Just unwind. I stopped at a gas station on the way, grabbed a 6-pack of the cheap stuff we always drank, and texted him. On my way, you better not be playing that same playlist from college. He didn't respond, but I figured he was busy setting up. When I pulled up to his place, the porch light was off, but I could see the TV flickering through the living room window. I figured maybe he forgot to turn on the light. No big deal. The door wasn't locked. That was the first red flag. Josh always locked up, always, but I brushed it off. Maybe he was waiting for me. I stepped inside, quiet, half expecting him to jump out and try to scare me like we used to do. I called out his name, but my voice caught halfway through. I heard something, not footsteps, a laugh, her laugh. My heart didn't race, it didn't break, it just stopped. There were 2 jackets on the couch, his and hers, the same one she wore on our last date night. The one I loved because it smelled like her. My legs moved before I could stop them. I climbed the stairs like I was in a dream, or a nightmare. The kind where everything feels slightly off, but real enough to hurt. The door at the top of the stairs was cracked open. And I already knew. I didn't need to see it. I could have turned around. I could have walked back down, pretended I'd never come. But I didn't. I stood there, in that open doorway. And I watched the 2 people I trusted most destroy me without even realizing I was there. Time didn't freeze. That's a lie people tell. Time didn't slow down. It collapsed, folded in on itself. Every memory I had with her, the first kiss, the long talks in the car, the "I love you" at the bar, all of it just disintegrated. She saw me first. I didn't see her reaction. I was staring at the wall, at a spot between the bed and the dresser. Something to look at so I didn't have to see them. Her voice broke the silence. Wait, I can explain. But she couldn't. Because how do you explain something like that? How do you explain taking a sledgehammer to someone's heart? Josh didn't say a word. He just sat up, staring at me like he couldn't believe I was real. I didn't yell. I didn't throw the beer or swing at him or collapse to my knees. I just stood there, and then I turned around. I didn't slam the door. I didn't say goodbye. I walked down the stairs, past the jackets, out the front door, and into a world that suddenly felt unfamiliar. I don't remember closing the door behind me. I don't even remember walking down his driveway. It's strange what you forget when your world falls apart. I remember the sound of my own breathing, shallow, uneven, and the feeling of the 6-pack still in my hand. Heavy, cold, out of place, like I'd stepped out of my own life and into someone else's nightmare. I don't know how far I walked. Blocks, maybe. Could have been miles. The streetlights all looked the same. Cars passed. Faces blurred. Everything felt like static. I wanted to cry, but nothing came. I wanted to scream, but my throat wouldn't work. It's not like in the movies, where you collapse dramatically on the sidewalk. It's quieter than that. It's just you and the weight in your chest. Breathing feels like lifting cinder blocks. Every step is a question you don't want to answer. How long? Why him? Was anything real? I sat down on a bus stop bench. I didn't even notice the cold metal at first. The world kept moving. Buses hissing past, people scrolling on their phones, some couple laughing together at the crosswalk. And I sat there, holding a 6-pack, feeling like I'd been left behind on another planet. Her voice was still in my ears. I can explain. Explain what? Explain how every "I love you" we shared now felt counterfeit. Explain how the 2 people I trusted most had looked at each other the way she used to look at me. I tried to pull my phone out of my pocket. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I didn't call anyone. Not my parents, not a friend, not even her. I just sat there, and the longer I sat, the heavier it got. Until finally, the tears came, but not loud, not messy. Just quiet, the kind where you're not even sure you're crying until you taste salt on your lips. That was the first time it hit me. It wasn't just her I'd lost. It was everything that came with her. The future I'd built in my head. The home, the mornings, the little plans we made. All of it gone in a single moment. People think heartbreak is about losing someone. It's not. It's about losing the person you thought you were when you were with them. And sitting there, on that cold bench under a buzzing streetlight, I realized I had no idea who I was anymore. It's been weeks now, long enough that people stopped asking if I'm okay, but not long enough that I've figured out how to lie and say I am. You don't really sleep after something like this. Not real sleep. You shut your eyes, sure, but your brain, it plays a loop. Not of what happened. No, that would almost be easier. It replays what led up to it. All of it. The first night we kissed. The way she smiled, like she couldn't believe I was hers. The stupid charades game where she mouthed, "I love you," at me from across a noisy bar. I see it all, in perfect clarity, and I question every frame of it. Was she already lying then? Was she comparing me to him in her head? Was I just something to pass the time until someone closer, more familiar, came along? I feel like a fool. The kind of fool who showed up to a betrayal with a six-pack and a heart full of trust. I don't tell people that part. I don't tell them how I still scroll through old pictures. How I still haven't deleted her number. How I sometimes wake up and check my phone, half expecting a text that says, "Can we talk?" She did try to reach out. A few days after it happened. A long message that started with, "You deserve the truth." I couldn't even read past the first paragraph. Because whatever truth she was offering now, it didn't matter. Not really. The truth had already introduced itself. Loud and clear, in his bed. But the worst part? I still miss her. God, I hate admitting that. I hate it. I miss the way she made coffee in the morning, 1 sugar, almond milk. I miss the dumb way she'd narrate her life like a TV show. I miss how she'd fall asleep mid-sentence and then pretend she hadn't when she woke up. I miss the version of her that loved me. And I guess that's what's really killing me. Because if that version of her was never real, then what does that say about me? Was I blind? Or just easy to love until someone more exciting came along? Everywhere I go now feels like a crime scene. The cafe where we had our first date. Her favorite bookstore. The street where she once told me she felt safe with me. All those places still exist. But they're haunted now, by the ghost of who I thought we were. And the worst part is, no matter how much I hurt, no matter how many questions I ask myself late at night, she gets to walk away from this with a new relationship. And I'm left here, trying to put back together a version of myself I barely recognize anymore. What did I do wrong? I used to think heartbreak was about someone leaving you. But it's not. It's about standing in front of a mirror weeks later and no longer recognizing the person looking back. I've asked myself the same question 1,000 times now. What did I do wrong? I go back over every conversation, every decision. Did I miss something? Was I too much? Not enough? Did I love her too hard? Did I give her too much space? Was I boring? It's a terrifying thought, that you can do everything right, be loyal, present, open, vulnerable, and still lose. Worse, that you can be replaced. Not gradually, not after years of fighting or falling out, but just swapped out. Like a coat someone's grown tired of wearing. There's a shame that comes with that. A quiet, sticky kind that you don't talk about with your friends. You just carry it, like a weight around your chest. You go out for drinks, laugh at the right moments, make it through conversations. But underneath it all, you're still wondering, was I just a placeholder? I thought I was building something real. I thought she was, too. But looking back, I wonder if she ever saw forever when she looked at me, or just convenience. What really messes with your head is how love doesn't switch off just because they hurt you. I still care, still wonder if she's okay, still have the reflex to reach for my phone when something funny happens. Then I remember, she's probably laughing with him now. That part cuts deep. Knowing the same things you once shared, the private jokes, the little rituals, the inside world you built together, are now hers to give away to someone else. I've started to question if love is even real. Or if it's just chemicals and timing and desperation. Two people hoping the other one won't leave when the high wears off. I hate feeling this bitter. I was never that guy. But something in me has changed. It's not dramatic. It's not like I walk around scowling at couples. It's quieter. A new filter on everything. I don't trust the way I used to. Not just other people, myself. I trusted my gut with her. I believed in what we had. I saw a future. And I was wrong. So now, when I meet someone new, when I get that first flicker of excitement, I don't smile. I brace for impact. The silence after the storm. It's strange how quiet life gets after everything falls apart. No more constant texting. No more plans for the weekend. No more shared playlists, or thinking of you, notes, or silly little inside jokes that only made sense to us. Just silence. And in that silence, I realized something. The world didn't explode the night I found them. It didn't even shatter. It just shifted, tilted sideways, and left me standing in the ruins of what I thought was real. Some mornings, I still wake up expecting to smell her perfume in the sheets. Other days, I go the whole afternoon without thinking of her, and then feel guilty for it. Because grief is complicated. You don't just miss the person. You miss who you were when they loved you. I was softer then, lighter. I smiled more, trusted easier, dreamed bigger. I'm not that guy anymore. And maybe I never will be again. People keep telling me to move on, to let go, to find someone new, but they don't get it. It's not about her. It's about what she took with her when she left. My sense of safety, my belief that love, real love, meant something. My faith in people, and even though I know, rationally, that I'll survive this. That I'll meet someone else, and maybe someday feel something again. Right now, I'm not ready. I don't need new love. I need stillness. I need to sit with this pain and understand it, so I don't carry it into the next person who tries to love me. I'm learning to live without closure. Because she never gave me that. And maybe she never will. So I'm building it myself. Not by forgetting, but by remembering everything, honestly. The good, the bad, and the part in between, where I still believed we were forever. I walk past mirrors now and I look longer. Trying to find the man I used to be. Not to go back to him. But to figure out who I am now, without her. And the truth is, I don't know yet. But I'm still here. Still breathing. Still standing. And for today, maybe that's enough.